Hey guys, this is Justin with zZounds. We're here in Chicago at Lakland Guitars. Since 1994, Lakland has been manufacturing high-end electric basses. We stopped by their factory in Chicago to talk with the president and owner, John Pirruccello, about his history with the company and the design of both the USA models and the birth of the Skyline series. So tell us about your association with Lakland. So what do you do for the company?
I'm the president and co-owner of Lakland. I've been involved with this company since 1997. It was started originally by a friend of mine, a bandmate and a neighbor that we kind of learned how to play instruments together and went to college and were in bands and all that stuff together. His name was Dan Lakland. And we started flipping vintage guitars right out of college. Fixing instruments to flip, he met a very talented luthier named Hugh McFarland. And they designed a bass together, which turned out to be the first Lakland bass. About a year after they started, I was given the chance that things started getting some traction, and it was time for me to jump on board, try to straighten out all the sales, get things streamlined as far as production goes. And through a period from 1997 up until 2009, I was basically kind of COO, I guess. And then in 2010, the company changed hands, and I brought in some partners, and we purchased the company from the Lakland family. Here we are.
Here we are?
Yeah.
So how many employees work here at the Chicago?
There are 11 of us here, not counting me. And yeah, we don't have a lot of turnover here. People start working, they stay for a while. I think we have one brand new guy that's been with us for about a month, but he's friends with everybody. So it's like he's always been here. So I have two brothers that work with me, so it's kind of cool because I have one brother, Steve, who does all our milling and woodwork. My brother does the electronics, and then I concentrate mostly on finish work. And
it's a family affair.
Running the business.
It's a family affair then, yeah.
It's really great to have them around, and we work. We're all hands-on production here.
Do you think that kind of has a effect on the end product? Is just that kind of culture here?
Absolutely, it does. Yeah, we're super picky.
What do you think your kind of ethos of Lakland is, in your opinion?
Well, I mean, the main thing that put us on the map to begin with was specific configuration. The bass was definitely designed clearly to be a quintessential American style electric bass guitar. Nothing too esoteric or wild or wizardly or stuff like that, other than some exotic woods and things like that. A little more from the early 60s Leo Fender school of instruments. So the original Lakland had a Music Man pickup. There's an MMJ configuration, which was popularized by the Music Man Stingray in the 70s. So it's like a soap bar. And we utilized Bartolini electronics and pickups at the time. And so it has one kind of a Stingray type pickup, and then one neck pickup that's more like a jazz bass neck pickup. So okay. Referred to as an MMJ setup. And that was we weren't the first ones to do it, but we were one of the very first ones to do it. And it kind of became pretty popular. But the main thing that set it apart was the fretwork and the fret leveling. It's not done in a mass production style at all. With the original Lakland bass, which was supposed to be and was conceptualized as a no concessions instrument. Just done everything top of the line, top of the range, with no concessions, and it'll cost what it'll cost.
So the way you guys wanted it to be.
That's exactly. So a lot of that works its way out in the neck process. That's your main interface. A lot of people, when they look at a guitar, they immediately look at the finish and stuff, and it's beautiful, but it's where you're playing that counts. So the Lakland neck, it's a vitally important part of our instruments. The shape, the feel, the way that the frets are dressed, it's definitely how they're leveled. And that continued on with the Skyline series, which is manufactured by our overseas partner. And they have to produce, because they produce so many instruments, more in a mass production style. So when we get them in, we have to set them up the same way we set up the US production. And we found that the Plek machine from Germany was phenomenal at correcting fret jobs, just by releveling the frets, and it's fantastic. And we've been using one for probably 12, 13, 14 years now, and it's been awesome.
Okay. Kind of gets you most of the way there, and then you guys finish it off.
We get it in there and makes them set up beautifully. And all of our Skylines are plecked, even if they're coming here and going on over anywhere else in the world. Everything comes through our shop in Chicago.
Gotcha. It still borrows from the same electronics as the U.S. models, right?
They are the same electronics that we manufacture right here. And so on almost all models, there's 2 models right now or 3 models that don't utilize our pickups. One of them is a 4464 Custom GZ, which has EMG pickups in it, because they're Geezer Butler signature pickups.
Makes sense then.
So we wanted to incorporate that in, because we, of course, have a relationship with Geezer, making a signature base for him on the U.S. side. So for the Skylines, we utilize the same signature brand pickups as in the Geezer Butler signature base.
Cool.
And then there's a couple models of some Bartolini pickups and preamps, but the vast majority are our single coil, vintage style, J&P chassis, and then our quad coil MMJ setup.
Well, they're all still phenomenal basses.
Yeah. Oh, I have people, especially on the internet, that they're like, I can't tell the difference between a Skyline and a US. People are always asking, what's the difference? And I would say, well, one's made completely, in small batches. Most of it's handwork. It's just the manner of manufacture. And then the Skylines are more of a mass production style.
Yeah, the thing felt great. I mean, I had met Leo here when I popped by last week, and it was so funny. He handed me the bass, and just like the minute I even just held it in my one hand, I was like, oh, this is a really nice bass.
That's right.
Yeah, I can already tell this is going to play super
Oh,
great.
good. I'm glad that translated for you. That's cool.
Absolutely, absolutely. You mentioned the Geezer Butler bass there. How did all the artist custom models and everything come about?
I think Geezer might have just originally picked up one of our basses on his own. He's got a bunch of our stuff, and he uses it exclusively. And it was just, many, many years where he was just playing our basses. US, Skyline, all of them. And he'd do his own little modifications and put winged demons on them and stuff like that. And they finally got in touch and said, oh, we want to do a signature bass. So that was great. We started messing around with some designs of some instruments that he used in the 70s, and that were more like double cut, kind of SG style, EB style basses. And we built a couple of prototypes, and we sent him, and he finally came back. He said, he said he really likes the bass, but I think he just kind of wants more of a P chassis type thing. So I was like, fine, whatever the man wants. So we went back and we made a really cool striped aluminum pickguard, and did inlay work. That was another thing that we took on and learned how to do, was custom inlays.
Of course you did.
We got a laser, and we're learning how to cut all the different materials, and we came up with little devil skull, and they were all his inlay designs.
What other artists do you guys have those custom models for?
Right now I'm working on a short scale instrument with Hutch Hutchinson, who is probably best known for his work with Bonnie Raitt. He's been in her touring band for a really long time. We've worked with him a bunch in the past before for neck shapes. His idea was to do a short scale instrument that, had like a split coil and a, dual pickup design.
Sure, yeah.
And then we work with a local player, a guy named Frank Russell, who is a phenomenal virtuoso bass player, and so we came up with kind of a limited edition Frank Russell model, which will also be up on our website soon. It's a passive instrument, but it's with our original Lakland shape.
Yeah, well, it seems like all these players are longtime Lakland users.
Oh yeah.
So if that says something about your product, I don't know
Exactly.
what would. You know, these guys
And
like.
of course, we still work with Daryl Jones.
Yes,
from
yeah, yeah.
Stones, and he's, you know, that's been one of our mainstay instruments for 20 years.
You know, you mentioned a minute ago that you guys do full customization of all the models and everything here.
That's right. About the only thing we don't do is like if somebody says, "Can you make me, you know, something in the shape, or you know, in the shape of it's a complete one-off." It still has to be within our product line.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But if somebody wants, you know, a single pickup version or custom colors and different types of exotic woods, people want custom neck shapes. They want different inlays. We do done a lot of interesting inlay work. People like having their initials done and
Sure.
certain designs. I've done some really crazy ones, you know, that were just like real abstract, and that's actually been pretty fun.
I don't doubt that you've probably seen it all doing custom work for people over the years.
It's yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. I just did like a heavy like banana seat sparkle pink. It's called Porno Pink. That was the flake that I used from the company I got the metal flake from, and it was a pain. But it came out so cool. It was really, really cool.
Great. So what's the future of Lakeland looking like? You guys got new electronics in the works, new models?
We have like a super premium US model coming out with different, you know, laminations and contours and, you know, 24 fret neck, and we're working on that Hutch Hutchinson instrument. We started building 6-string guitars about 5 or 6 years ago as well. That's slowly getting lift. I kind of prefer the organic adoption method instead of trying to, like, you know, ram your product into the market. And they are awesome guitars. They've got the same build quality, obviously, and neck building techniques as the basis, so they feel great. And they're slowly taking root, and you know, we're getting some good players with them, and so it's happening. Just we're doing it kind of quietly. And then Skylines, we've got some new like matte finish deluxe 5502s, 4402s. Those will be coming out this year. And it's been really challenging because on both sides, Skyline and the US this year, because this past year, supply chain interruptions have affected everybody, every business. I was very surprisingly pleased with the fact that people trusted us. Because, you know, when you order a US instrument from us, minimum you have to put half down, and so we can get it started. And it was very heartening to have people that were still like, I want to place an order, here's my deposit, or here, I'll prepay for the whole thing, or whatever. And, you know, I'm sitting here in the dark, you know, like in last March or whatever it was, and, you know, we're all shut down. I'm like, man, that's good that you've got the confidence that we're going to make it through. And they're like, you guys are going to be there. Yeah, you guys are, you know, and we sold a lot during that period. It was crazy.
Great.
And we were only shut down for about a month. And,
Okay.
Yeah. So being manufacturing, we were allowed to come back, and also since we're not really open to the public, we were part of the group that was allowed to operate, and we were busy. We were really busy.
Good problem to have then,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
All right, John, well, thanks so much for sitting down with us. And for everybody watching, check out zZounds.com for Lakeland basses.